Hello, we'll be starting this webinar very shortly. We're just doing a link to social media. So we'll be with you in a moment. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, Delivering Real Accounting Services with the ESS BIZTOOls Advanced Package. I'm Peter Towers, the Managing Director of ESS BIZTOOls. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. What we're going to do today is give you a brief overview of the contents of the advanced package within ESS BIZTOOls so that you have an appreciation of how this package can assist you to deliver a broad range of services to your SME clients. Many SME clients are encountering severe economic difficulties at present in Australia and probably in other parts of the world as well, through high interest rates, high inflation, business failures, uncertainty about employment of people, what the new rules might mean. It's a whole range of issues. I'm not suggesting that an accountant can solve all of these issues, but you are the obvious person who can be the conduit to assist your SME clients to have a better understanding. And by a conduit, you may introduce your client to an employment consultant or a marketing consultant or a internet or AI consultant, because that's the role that chief financial officers play in larger companies. They tend to be the conduit as well. I know, because I was one at one stage of my career for 12 years. So let's go through the advanced package. We start with the advisory journey. The first material that's included is Business Advisory Services Training. This is a 13-module training program that we've developed, covers the introduction of business advisory services, and then works through a whole range of issues, including getting organised, offering business advisory services, team training, leadership training, marketing strategies, selection of products, use of the SME needs analysis, which is the next item we're going to look at, selection of products to be offered, planning seminars to launch business advisory services by your accountancy or bookkeeping firm, selling business advisory services. How do you go about that? And one-on-one meeting with your client to discuss how the material within this product package could assist them to run better businesses, a business with a future. SME needs analysis is a series of material that you could talk to your clients about, because one of the big problems that I find in talking to SMEs and to the accountants is there seems to be a lack of dialogue on anything other than taxation. Accountants need to communicate to your clients that you can offer real commercial services to assist them, and try to make the distinction that taxation work is the end product of a whole range of activities that are conducted within the client's business. Unfortunately, I think the accountancy profession, when it comes to offering advice to small businesses over the years, has concentrated on taxation issues. Now, this is even though the Financial Management Research Centre, which hopefully you've heard about, FMRC, which was established by the University of New England in Armidale, New South Wales, 44 years ago, with a mandate to promote services for SMEs to accountants to deliver. Now, this concept was enthusiastically supported by the Institute of Chartered Accountants and the Australian Society of Accountants, which is now the CPAs. Yet 44 years later, we are still talking about the delivery of realistic advisory services to SMEs. The SME needs analysis will give you some dot points to raise in your discussions with your client over a cup of tea or a coffee or a glass of wine, if that better suits the occasion. We now moved on to communication to members, because at ESS BizTools, we believe that it's not just the product packages that you need to have established the conduit to communicate with your clients. So the first item we are sending to you is the weekly grant alert. This is a quick summary of what changes may have occurred in the Australian scene in the previous week relating to grants, because they're changing all the time. We've got federal, state and territory grants, and some local government organisations have grants available for SMEs. So you get a quick update. We produce podcasts, about 25 a year, on issues relating to the delivery of services to SMEs. And once a month, we produce Members Alert, which is a communication we have with our members, alerting them to what's happening. One of the big issues at present is the Export Market Development Grant, which has been closed for new applicants for the last 7 or 8 months, is reopening on the 12th of November. So now is the time, if you've got clients who are exporters or are proposing to be exporters, or who are offering services in Australia to overseas residents, whether it's whitewater rafting, whether it's cruises on Sydney Harbour, or visiting Tasmania and going on tours. It doesn't matter if it's services that your client's providing to overseas residents to attract them to come to Australia. So it can be the marketing communications, it can be bringing overseas promotional people to Australia to view the services that your client provides. That can all be included in a application for support under the Export Market Development Grant, which is administered by Austrade. So that might be one of the issues that you can look at. And this would be covered, and you would be made aware of this in Members Alert, which we issue in the normally in the 3rd week of each month. We also produce a members monthly webinar. There's 40 webinars each year delivered by ESS BizTools to our subscribers, our members. And there's a training video with each product package. And that was part of the training and mentoring component. We have tools to assist our subscribers, our members, to communicate. The first one is the Business Plus newsletter, which we produce every month of the year. And it's a communication that you, as a subscriber, would badge with your name, and it goes to your clients. There's normally 4 to 6 articles in each edition. And each edition has a number of questions raised with the readers, which will be your clients, hopefully, if you become a subscriber, so that we're trying to kickstart the relationship, that your client reads the article and says, geez, I might be interested in that Export Market Development Grant. And the call to action asks them to contact the accountant in your organisation who they normally deal with. And Your accountant would have read the newsletter as well. That's the plan. And are then equipped to be able to answer the questions or comments that the client makes. There's 35 client seminars or webinars that have been pre-prepared, not for you to produce exactly what ESS BizTools has prepared, but for you to model something that's more in your firm's image, your brand, because after all, it's going to be your people presenting the webinars or seminars. There's 550 plus papers contained within the ESS BizTools system that an advanced subscriber can obtain. And you can badge those papers and send them to your clients and prospects. It's a way of communicating with your clients. Those papers have been prepared over 68 different subject headings. So there's a wide variety of material that some of our subscribers make extensive use of. And there's some client mentoring and coaching. So we've developed 12 modules on various SME issues so that you can have some direct communication with them and send them some ideas, some suggestions, which are based on those 12 modules. And now we'll move into the packages. ESS BizTools has got 4 major product packages. We start off with the advisory intro, then we go into the starter package. So everything that's in advisory intro is also in the starter package, but obviously more's added. And then we move into the advanced package, which is where we are today. So the advanced package includes everything that was in the starter package, together with additional material that is introduced only at the advanced subscriber stage. So the material we have here is business planning, cash flow analysis, templates, articles, questions for you to use to talk to your clients, a complete analysis of the Chief Financial Officer services. What's it mean? How do you deliver it? How do you communicate? Early stage innovation company capital raising is a major opportunity for SMEs who have undertaken research and development or have been registered with the Accelerating Commercialization Grant Program, which has now been withdrawn and replaced by the Industry Research Program. But nevertheless, your client may have qualified. And really, if they're part of this scene, they're on the innovation journey, they will need a lot of assistance. So we go through that in detail and look at how you can assist one of your clients to be recognized. Because the real benefit of the early stage innovation company process is that the investors receive an welcome by the tax office. They have a carrot built in. They receive 20% of their investment as a tax rebate. And if they hold the shares that are allocated to them as part of the status process to be an early stage innovation company, they don't pay capital gains tax if they hold those shares for longer than 12 months and less than 10 years. Crowdsource funding equity raisings, the next one, very important. Companies with turnovers up to $25 million, gross assets less than $25 million, both of those figures on a worldwide basis, can be eligible to apply to a government-appointed crowdsource funding intermediary to be admitted into the crowdsource funding equity raising process. This enables the company to be raising money direct from the public. And the legislation allows marketing and advertising of that situation once the intermediary has approved the company's application. Now, there's a fair bit of work, as you can imagine, and a lot of that work is able to be performed by accountants. There needs to be a crowdsourced funding offer document prepared. There needs to be a business plan, predictive accounting reports, budgets, cash flow forecasts, projected balance sheets. There needs to be a clear understanding by the directors and the leadership team of the company as to what this process is all about, because there are rules. The crowdsourced funding intermediary is working on behalf of the Australian Security Investment Commission, who the intermediary has to report to on every client that they assist in a capital raising process. This is very interesting and challenging work. It will make your team members happy. And it will make a lot of your clients happy, because they could raise up to $5 million in 12 months, subject to the intermediary approving their approach, their application, their use of the money. And obviously, if they can gain support from the market. Do you know enough about it? Can you help your clients? It's getting very difficult to borrow money, yet there's been over $380 million invested in crowdsourced funding equity raising over the last few years. And I expect it to grow. It will grow also if more accountants become very familiar with it and help educate SMEs as to the processes that are involved in the substantial amount of capital that they can raise, and an understanding of how shareholding works. Because it is true that the client that goes down this path will not own 100% of their business at the end of it, unless they utilise some of the profits from the business over the years to buy back the shareholders who are going to invest now. But the key thing in growing a business is having availability of cash. Crowdsourced funding equity raising presents that opportunity to an SME to be able to raise cash. So please have a look at that. The Personal Property Securities Register. This is a bit of legislation that's had a real up and down path since it was introduced. It's there. You need to be aware of it, and your clients definitely need to be aware of it to make decisions as to whether they should register a new customer or someone that they're doing a transaction with on that register. And we explain all that in that material. Strategic business mentoring is the services whereby you will be closely involved, basically as a virtual chief financial officer or even a director of the company, giving advice to the CEO. In larger organisations, CEOs normally have a leadership team of anywhere between 6 and 12 people. And in larger companies, it's even bigger. Who does your SME CEO have to help assist him or her? Now, most of them might have 2 or 3 internal people, sales, production, perhaps marketing. Not many of them have a qualified accountant that works for them. Most definitely, not many of them have a chief financial officer, unless their turnover is starting to get up over $10 million per annum, where they might. So this is an opportunity for you to play that role on a virtual basis. You can use the technology which we've now got at our fingertips, the way to communicate like we're doing at present. So you can offer services to clients without having to drive out to their premises or their offices on each occasion. Research and development. I think this is a great opportunity for accountants to grasp. There's been some reports released by AusIndustry, who are the other government department involved with research and development, along with the tax office, that for the 2023 year, there was an expectation that the investment in companies with turnovers under $20 million on research and development expenditure was going to be in the vicinity of $3.8 billion. $3.8 billion for companies with turnovers under $20 million. The Australian Small Business Ombudsman at the time released a report which indicated that on their analysis, 72% of that $3.8 billion was going to be expended by companies they described as very small. There's a lot of money being invested by small SMEs on research and development. Yet when I talk to accountants, or even when I look at accountants' websites, I find very little indication that accountancy firms are even talking about research and development. This is a huge opportunity, because if someone's undertaking research and development, invariably they start to run out of money because they spend so much money on the research and development activities. They haven't got enough money left then to commercialize their idea. There's government assistance available. There's the ability to raise capital. But none of this occurs unless there's a business plan or a properly prepared budget and cash flow forecast and projected balance sheet. Unless there's a vision, this is what this company is going to look like. There's a leadership team that understands how to read financials, understands key performance indicators and business metrics, understands how board of advisors operate and how board of directors operate, because they'll be interrelating with those. And as I've already indicated to you, there's capital raising opportunities. We got Section 708 of the Corporations Act, which has now been there for about 45 years, thankfully. We got early stage innovation company. We've got crowdsource funding, equity raising, and we've got venture capitalists who are interested in investing in some of the real stars of the SME market. So that's why research and development is so important, because it's the key commencement item on the innovation journey. I've never known of anyone being able to complete the innovation journey and raise capital and grow their business unless they had research and development. So please look at it. Within ESS BIZTOOLS Advanced Package, we got the full package of services on research and development. Then we got the packages also available in the starter package. So if I indicated earlier, the advisory intro and starter packages that were added now flow through into the advanced package if you're subscribing to the advanced package. So you get the trades and or manufacturers' charge out rate calculators. We had a webinar last week, and the well-known accountancy industry mentor and coach Amanda Gascoigne said that the trades charge out rate calculator developed by ESS BIZTOOLS was like gold. Amanda indicated that every accountant should be using the trades charge out rate calculator, because most of you have got trades people as clients. On my reckoning, there's well over 140 trades classifications. There may be more. And one of our clients has got 110 clients who are all tradies now working with them. When he started off, he only had 10, but he got hold of our package and didn't market. He tells me it's just word of mouth from other tradies. We've got the retail wholesalers pricing calculator. Retailers have got a different problem, haven't they? They've got various types of stock coming into them, various quantities. Some you can get high markups on, others you can get low markups on. It's no use selling all the low markup material, and yes, you sell a lot of it if you're going to try to make your targeted profit. So it's the mixture, so that they've got an idea of how they should be setting it up within their store so that they can achieve an overall result which will generate their targeted profit. That system will help you do that. And there's professional service firms charge out rates. Yes, why not start with your own firm first if you haven't done this exercise? It looks at your individual team, their productivity percentages that you assume that they can generate. Looks at their working hours, looks at any special benefits you may have negotiated. You may be paying a little bit higher on superannuation or giving them an extra week's leave for various reasons. The system will factor all that into account. You identify your estimate of overhead expenses for the year. You indicate your targeted profit, and the system will calculate what the charge out rates need to be. And then you can check it each month. It's a great system. The business health checks is a report that analyzes key performance indicators and business metrics for 5 separate industries, and we'll be adding a couple more industries later this year. Debtors management system, very important. I've been commenting in other webinars about the report prepared by Paul Robson, the CEO of MYOB, that was published in the Financial Review in February. He was very critical that people were going into business with no idea how debtors systems operate. They had an assumption that everyone would pay them within 30 days. I'm afraid that is far from the truth. Australia's got the highest debtors days outstanding in the world. Yet people were starting in business expecting anyone they gave credit to pay them within 30 days. They ran out of money. And we have a debtor systems manual, which you can sit down and work with your clients, change a few of the terminologies, perhaps change some of the names of things, because SMEs tend to give various documents names, like the red book or the yellow book and other similar names. Customize it to suit their system. Do some training with the person that's got the unthinkable job, I think, of being in charge of debtors. It seems to be the last person employed seems to get put in charge of debtors. Yet it's a vital job to keep that debtors days outstanding as close as possible to 30 days. You need someone that understands the system and is motivated and switched on. You can help do that. Buying a business. There's a whole art to buying a business. We've got a full package on it. Succession planning. Succession planning occurs in all businesses virtually every day. A lot of it's to do with team training, so that you've got someone internally that's been trained to do a particular job. So if the person currently doing it wants to move up into another role, wants to retire, or decides to go on an overseas trip and won't be back for 3 years, you've got someone internally that can take their role. And obviously, of course, succession planning also applies very much to the key people in the business, the key shareholders, the key executives. What happens when they wish to leave? Business evaluation, survival in difficult times. You know, around Australia every year, there's survival problems in various locations, in various businesses. Every year, cyclones, floods, other problems in particular businesses. So we wrote this series, Survival in Difficult Times. It's a workbook to try to help you, to help your clients, to give them a better appreciation of what they might be able to do. Selling a business, just like buying a business is important, so selling a business, making sure you get the right value for it. Having a system which will help you raise questions with the clients to say, well, how much do you think your business worth? And the client says $1 million. And you say, well, I've done my calculations and I only think it's worth $600,000. So there's a $400,000 gap. Do you then say to the client, well, we could work something through here, but it might take a couple of years, and try to bridge that gap, because we don't think you're going to get $1 million. You'll only get $600,000. But if we make some changes, which might cost, let's say, $100,000, and put them into place, hopefully you will get very close to that $1 million, and maybe even go a bit better in 2 years' time. So that's the sort of questions that are raised there. So that's our overview. I'm now just going to switch us on to the ESS BIZTOOLS site, which I've taken you to now on our website. And we're going to go into the advanced package. So what we've got on our site now, all these boxes in the middle, are the various packages within ESS BIZTOOLS. Now, what's on here now is the material that's included in the financial forecasting package, because that is the largest package. It's got everything within ESS BIZTOOLS. It's the top of the steps, if you like. On the left-hand side here, we've got the subscribed content of ESS BIZTOOLS. And again, everything that's on this left-hand column is included within the financial forecasting package. So if we now come back and tell the system we only want to see advanced, that's what we now have on the screen. So I'm just going to bring up a few of these items so that you can see them. I talked about the SME needs analysis. So it's just a matter of clicking like I've just done. And we have a summary of the package content. We've got 3 SME analysis packages. You pick which ones you want to use. Click on it. And we have 3. So we have a detailed analysis. Which is now on your screen. This is the detailed SME needs analysis. So the idea is you sit down and have a discussion with your client. And these are some of these dot points that I was talking about. Current business performance. Talk to your client about the profit. Is he happy or she happy? Cash flow. The valuation. I think every year you should be doing a valuation on the client's activity. That's included in the financial forecasting package, but it's food for thought. Wealth creation. Are they happy with all these things? How's the business going? Profit, cash flow. What would they like to know more information about? Do they know enough about the trends, gross profit percentages, stock levels, team productivity, benchmarking? Now, when some of these terms like benchmarking and even gross profit percentages get mentioned in this sort of discussion, I've had situations where a client has said to me, what's that mean? Or more particularly, I've had accountants ring me and tell me, geez, this is the feedback we got. They asked us questions about benchmarking. Well, there are some great benchmarking services around, originally started by FMRC, who I mentioned earlier. And that company is now still trading out of Sydney, benchmarking.com.au. They benchmark about 220 different types of businesses. And you can subscribe to that service and analyze all sorts of things and then compare your clients to it. What are their financial goals? Is there any particular reviews you would like us to undertake? A peer comparison, ATO, how are they going there? What about the ratio analysis? So then we go into debtors management policies. So it's an opportunity to sit down and have an hour's discussion with your client. I will guarantee you that if you do that the way we're proposing, you will walk away from that meeting with more work to do for that client, because the client will have a light going off in their heads. Oh, my accountant can help me run my business, can act as a CFO for me. They're not just tax whizzes. Now, they know you're very good at tax, but we need to show them and give you the resources so you can also show them that you can help them run their business. You can perform that role of a CFO. Now, SMEs have heard of CFOs. They know they exist. But when I talk to them, they tend to shake their heads and say, oh, no, my accountant only wants to do tax. Now, if you only want to do tax, that's all right. You're probably not finding much of this video very interesting. But if you are really trying to offer a wide range of services, hopefully that will help. And there are some shorter versions there that if you're a subscriber, of course, you can access. The next one I wanted to talk about was we have a Business Plus newsletter. Now, this is part of the marketing side of things. So we have that. You go through the background information. We download the content. We've in August, the edition was 243, so we've been producing newsletters for about 17 years. One a month goes to our clients. So we're looking at Business Plus newsletter 243, which was for August. And so here's the newsletter. You remove the ESS BIZTOOLS branding and put your own branding on. This month, we're talking about shrinkage. We're talking about waste management. We're talking about the Export Market Development Grant. We're talking about getting presentations right, understanding business funding, and what does it mean? Hopefully, there's something in that list which will be of interest to every one of your clients. That's the idea. So what causes shrinkage? It's a huge problem, especially for retailers, wholesalers, tradie businesses, probably potentially everyone. What causes shrinkage? And every article finishes with a call to action. We don't call it the call to action, but we put that paragraph in. We vary it from article to article. If you would like to have a discussion with us regarding conducting a review of the shrinkage costs for your business, please contact us. And basically, the way shrinkage is calculated, the first step is, what was the expected gross profit in this store or this department? And what was the actual? So if the expectation was a gross profit of 36% and the actual was 32%, there's a 4% shrinkage. What went wrong? And that's where you start. You analyze other material. Waste management is a key management challenge. Waste is a huge cost. There's been all sorts of research done primarily by a Japanese organization 40 years ago on waste. And they've produced reports which indicates what are the 7 major waste areas. And again, we ask the client if they want to come back and talk to you about reviewing how waste might be able to be controlled within their business, to contact you. The Export Market Development Grant. As I indicated earlier, this is available for any type of business with a turnover less than $20 million. And the business is involved in exporting goods or services from Australia, or is offering services in Australia to overseas residents. There's been some significant changes. So if you had an awareness of how this grant worked a few years ago, it's all been changed. It was changed in 21-22. The next round of applications will open on the 12th of November. So now is the time to get ready. Within ESS BIZTOOLS, we have a full package on Export Market Development Grant. Everything that we obviously comment on in our newsletter, we have packages for. We think we've covered virtually every issue that SMEs are looking at. So that's and we then have a summary there of what can be claimed on the Export Market Development Grant. So you lodge a application in advance, very similar now to how every other major Australian government program is handled, except for disasters. You apply in advance, get approval, then go and spend the money, and then get reimbursement from the government for a major activity. That Austrade will even make progressive payments to the applicant. Getting presentations right, very important. How do your team members react to being able to make a presentation on the Export Market Development Grant to a group of 12 clients sitting in the room? Do they get very nervous? Are they incapable of speaking? Do they fluff up their lines? So perhaps you need to get them to join Toastmasters or some other public speaking training organization. Can they present webinars? How do they handle it? So that's what that's there for. Understanding business funding. This is very important because more and more SMEs are looking to raise capital from the public. So it's important that there's a business plan that conveys the vision and there needs to be, for virtually every company that I've worked for, a market research document. What is the market? Who's going to buy this product or service? So there's some summaries there to give you something to think about. And that commentary is going to be continued in September and probably October and November as we work our way through the issues. What does it mean? Each month we have an update on accountancy jargon so that your clients have an understanding. In fact, one accountant indicated to me a couple of years ago that one of his clients had contacted him and says, I've got every one of your definitions noted in my notebook that I keep on business matters. Now, he'd forgotten that he was a subscriber to ESS, and he started to say, oh, where'd you get all that from? And he said, oh, out of your newsletter. Because when the newsletter goes to clients, it doesn't mention ESS BizTools. It's got your name on it. So the client thinks that you've written it. That's great. That's why we write it. We're trying to help you to get clients to come back and make comments and give you feedback. And if they start asking for services that ESS BizTools hasn't included in our top package, the financial forecasting package, and if you're a subscriber, please contact us and we will look at it, research it, and if we can, we will write a product package for you. So it's in the system. So in this case, of course, we're talking about things like EBIT and adjusted EBIT and whatever. So it just gives some of your clients will be very interested in this, and that's what the purpose is, so that they are informed. And then we enclose a list and a link, to a few of our papers that we suggest you might read before you send out the newsletter. So if your clients ring you and want to talk to you about the Export Market Development Grant, you're up to speed with the changes. And there's some changes being made, and we've now incorporated them within our paper. So you look at it and say, well, that's great. We can send that out to our clients. So that's the Business Plus newsletter. And I just now want to show you a couple of other things. We might go to, we get back onto our overall summary. We'll have a look at crowdsourced funding, equity raising. Now, this is a big subject. There's a lot of steps. And I'm just going to download the content now. Our product packages have a procedure control form. The purpose of this is to have a control document for this client. So here we've got the client or prospect's name, the contact person. And this form is designed to assist your team who've got this job of looking after. So we talk about everything to do with crowdsourced funding. So it's got 5 main parts: preparation, marketing, promotional material, the quotation and proposal, very important, summary of crowdsourced funding overview, and the corporate governance concessions, which are now all faded out. There was originally crowdsourced funding was only approved for unlisted public companies. Then it was changed, and there was some governance concessions incorporated, and the timing on those is probably now, this is probably its final year, so we will be removing that section then, because anyone that's currently using the system doesn't need to worry about it. But we have roadmap references. Is your client potentially eligible to be a crowdsourced funding company? Is your client interested? Disclosure, investment categories. So we have a video which takes you through crowdsourced funding. We've got an overview paper, 003055. So we've got a procedure suggesting. We've got some marketing material that you can send to your clients. I think you should be selecting some clients and saying, are you aware that this exists? Are you aware of this possibility? Especially if the client's got a reasonable business but's been whinging to you that they need some extra money. They got no spare assets. None of the directors or the key shareholders have got spare assets. This is a way they can find the money. But it is an education process. So we've got some news releases. We've got material there. So I'm just going to move through this. If you subscribe, you get all this. You can read through it. We have a quotation and a proposal. And then we go into the overview. So what is crowdsourced funding? We've got a form which BAS is Business Advisory Service, not the other BAS. The tax office put that terminology in after we'd been using it. We'd been using it since the middle of the 1990s. We go to the legislation, so there's summaries. We look at the corporate governance concessions, and then we look at the whole process. So this is inviting you to go through and record everything on the system. My suggestion to everyone that's starting on crowdsourced funding with a new client, with a client for the first time, is that you allow at least 4 hours for a overview discussion with the directors and key management people as to how this whole system works. Because if you don't, there could be embarrassments along the way, especially with the crowdsourced funding intermediaries who have the decision whether to accept a business or not. And in fact, one of the leading intermediaries, Equitise from Sydney, publishes a yearbook each year, and they have indicated that they only accept about 5% of the applications or the inquiries that they receive. 5%. And then out of that, about 72% actually end up raising capital. So not everyone is successful, and some may have fallen on the wayside before they even got to being in the process of actually trying to raise capital. But 5%. I suspect a lot of the 95% that fail were not properly prepared in the first place. And that's the type of comment I get from the intermediaries when I talk to them. There is a great opportunity for accountancy operators to really own a section of this product because it will generate substantial fees in helping clients obtain this status. So that's the brief overview, and I'll get rid of all that, of where we are with the advanced package. Now, if you need more information about the advanced package, can you go to our website, please, www.essbiztools.com.au. If you would like to book a one-on-one webinar with me to have an overview where we will discuss issues that relate to your firm, you'd give me a brief overview of what's your firm, 1 partner, 4 staff, 5 partners, 35 staff or whatever, and who your clients are, what you're doing for them. Are you basically only doing tax work at this stage, or have you been dabbling in some parts of advisory services? We can work that out. So we'll set you up 40 minutes complimentary webinar that we will record. So you'll receive a copy of the recording, and you can then let us know if you want to proceed. We have a special promotion to celebrate the Paralympics. And this is available for each of our 4 packages offered by ESS BIZTOOLS. There's a special subscription price available under the 16th of September. And you can go to our website to get that information. The advanced package, the one you've been looking at today, we have got a 12 months discounted upfront payment of $4,299, including GST. Normally that's $5,940. Or you can pay in 12 monthly installments of $429.90. That's normally $594, and that's the cheaper process. Sorry, the advance payment is the discounted upfront payment is the cheaper process, or you can pay the $429.90. A key question for accountancy firms that I'm going to try and answer with a key gentleman on Thursday is, does the delivery or non-delivery of business advisory services reflect how SMEs rate accountants? I'll repeat that question. Does the delivery or non-delivery of business advisory services reflect how SMEs rate accountants? For the answer to this question, why not register for a joint complimentary webinar that we are presenting in conjunction with Axsource Proprietary Limited. Advisory Services Reflects How You See Accountancy. Now that's on this Thursday, the 29th of August at 11 a.m. AEST. You're most welcome to register. Please go to www.essbiztools.com.au/webinars. And I will look forward to talking to you then. So thank you very much for watching this webinar, whatever time you'll watch it at. And if you have questions or comments, please don't hesitate to contact us. peter@essbiztools.com.au. Have a great day. Goodbye. And I hope that you're able to come back and talk to us or watch the webinar on Thursday and make contact with us at some stage. Thank you. Goodbye.